Korean refugees crossing a bomb-damaged bridge, 1950. This is a rally of Hitler's supporters in 1937. No rally in human history gathered so many people. 8 years later, in 1945, after Germany's defeat, they would claim they had never supported Hitler's ideas. Unusual dog transport method, Paris, 1920s. Kim Jong-un, with his father, leader of North Korea, Pyongyang, 1990s. The last photo of the Javan tiger, a now extinct species, 1938. The most common goods in the store window, prosthetics, post-war London, 1946. God Save America from Communism, Boston, USA, 1950. An ordinary American bar from 1941 with a sign that says, "They don't serve beer to Indians." Children eat turnips and cabbage for Christmas because they have nothing else. Great Depression, USA, 1929. Soviet whalers transport dead animals to the whaling base, USSR, 1960. Albert Einstein's desk, photographed just hours after his death, 1955. A horrific experiment from 1970 to determine whether there was a link between smoking and cancer. Majdanek Death Camp, 1944. Soviet soldiers stand before a massive pile of human teeth. People pose for a photograph moments before they are struck by lightning. A Tibetan man greets a photographer in 1955. This gesture was traditional proof that they weren't reincarnated demons, because according to folklore, demons have green tongues. The Endurance ship permanently trapped in Antarctic ice, 1915. Uzbek schoolgirls during a math lesson, Tashkent, Turkestan Soviet Republic, 1921. This 1959 photo captures the participants of the famous Dyatlov Pass expedition, heading into the snowy mist. It is their last known photograph before the tragic events, which remain one of the most mysterious mysteries of the 20th century. This heartbreaking photograph was taken by Duncan Cameron in the Northumberland Strait in 1969. Afterward, many countries banned the import of fur from Canada, and as the then Prime Minister of Canada admitted, this photograph formed a negative image of Canada in the eyes of many people worldwide. A World War I veteran begs for alms on a Berlin street, 1923. The English woman Millie Cooper, an elite prostitute born in 1915. She started her career in the 1940s, and in 2011, at the age of 96, she was still working, earning $1,250 per session. Cornell University students learn the intricacies of ironing in a home economics class, 1951. An amateur agronomist wins a competition and waits for the award ceremony, California, 1975. Sword Swallower, 1928. An X-ray of the sword swallower, one of the most unique photos of that period. Swedish soldiers prepare arrested Germans and Baltics for extradition to the USSR. These were soldiers from the Third Reich who fled to this country after World War II. Messengers run out of the White House. The war has begun. USA, December 7th, 1941. The winner of the Miss Nairobi Beauty Contest, Kenya, 1966. Gold mine of Bald Mountain, Brazil, 1986. Slaves in Chains, Zanzibar, 1865. Police confronting Mike Tyson after he bit off part of Evander Holyfield's ear, 1996. A Japanese soldier who continued to wage guerrilla warfare for 28 years because he did not know World War II had ended, Japan, 1974. The last day of distributing gold, which the government had been intensively seizing from the population the entire previous year, China, 1949. Out of 100,000 people, only the first 50 who bribed the police received gold. Experimental aerocycle by DeLachner, which was not adopted for use due to safety concerns for the pilot, USA, 1956. Mona Lisa being retrieved from a wartime hiding place, 1945. The painting was saved from Nazi looting. Workers and 3 links of the anchor chain for the Titanic, 1910. Huge parts were handmade. The size of the ship was record-breaking for its time. Lumberjacks of the past. Safety standards were unimpressive. The world's largest monument to Stalin was unveiled in Prague, Poland in 1955. It was nicknamed the Line for Meat by the people. Munduruku warriors observe the work of the Bureau of Indian Affairs staff in Brasilia, 2013. A Jewish family from Germany is deported from London for invalid papers, 1939. The inscription on the reverse side reads, "Sent to Hamburg." Incidentally, 4 years later, that city would be destroyed by British bombing. In 1942, a Chinese-American worker at a Los Angeles factory wrote on his back to identify himself as Chinese, not Japanese. A mother reunites with her daughter after 7 months of service in Iraq. Miss Italy knocks out Miss Sweden in an international women's boxing match in Stockholm, 1949. Heads of 7 major U.S. tobacco companies testify under oath that nicotine is not addictive, 1994. Soldiers during a break between battles, April 1943. When Stalin died, the Ukrainian diaspora restaurant in Washington served free borscht, March 9, 1953. No, there is no banana there, 1958. Salvador Dali in Paris with a giant 12-meter baguette made in his honor, 1958. Military dogs during World War I in sentry duty, 1916. One of many variants of Vietnamese combat traps. When an American soldier fell into such a pit, his own weight would turn him into mince. A police bulletproof vest variant for the police, Germany, 1930. This old photograph, probably taken at the end of the 19th century, looks like it was created to scare future viewers. 2 women in long, light dresses stand on the porch of a wooden house, their faces stiff and serious, and their thick hair, like dark veils, hides their hands and most of their bodies. A resident of a small tribe in the mountains of New Guinea shocked upon seeing a white man for the first time in his life. Until 1930, these natives believed they were the only people on Earth. A woman tries to stop bulldozers from demolishing her home to build a highway. The standoff lasted several days. On August 5, 1958, 5 sheriffs posing as reporters entered her home and disarmed her. The court awarded her $9,000, and the house was smashed to pieces. In 2010, Randy Guajaro bought an 1878 photograph for $2 that showed Billy the Kid and his gang. It turned out to be one of 2 confirmed photos and is valued at $5 million. White slaves on the plantations of Barbados. Light-skinned slaves were cheaper than dark-skinned ones, as they were less resilient and obedient. In this photo, the English wizard Alex Sanders, self-proclaimed King of Witches, is initiating a young novice into the mysteries of the magical arts. The wizard placed the naked novice in a circle, then lay on top and recited incantations. Thus, the girl became a witch. Sanders died on April 30th, 1988, after a prolonged battle with lung cancer. On June 3rd, 1980, due to a computer malfunction that reported a Soviet nuclear attack, the USA declared a nuclear alert. For 10 minutes, the world was on the brink of nuclear war. Before Hitler's rise, the swastika was an ancient symbol of good luck for 3,000 years. Rare photo of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson in which his famously bad teeth can be seen, 1910s. Soviet Air Force bombing of Helsinki, Finland, 1939, Winter War. The first Harley-Davidson motorcycle, made in 1903, had a carburetor made from a tomato can. Ancient Roman tokens used for paying prostitutes. The 1986 conflict between Chad and Libya is known as the Toyota War. Chad's troops were outgunned but won because France sent them 400 Toyota pickups mounted with machine guns and anti-tank missiles. The last photo of the passengers of the Uruguayan Air Force plane that crashed in the Andes on October 13th, 1972. Of the 45 people, 27 survived. They had to feed on the bodies of the deceased. After 72 days, rescuers found 16 survivors. The first same-sex marriage in history. Axel and Eigil Axgill became the first same-sex couple to receive legal recognition and rights. Denmark, 1989. Scientist testing a diaper-changing invention. In 1730, French pirate Olivier Levasseur was sentenced to the gallows. Before his execution, he unexpectedly threw a note with a cryptogram into the crowd, shouting, "Find my treasures if you can." The treasure has never been found. Ray Park getting into character on the set of Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, 1999. A giant sea devil caught by Captain Khan, August 26, 1933. A common punishment in Mongolia for criminals, who were put in a small box that they couldn't even fit into and displayed publicly while being subjected to starvation. Dachau concentration camp survivors use a shovel to exact revenge on a guard named Weiss. This photo captures his final seconds of life, April 29, 1945. The last Mexican grizzly bear is shown to the public, Mexico, 1954. Crew members of the American B-29 bomber Enola Gay. This is the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima in 1945. Soviet soldiers and an officer drinking with Americans to celebrate victory, 1945. 12 Soviet snipers who shot 775 German soldiers during World War II, 1945. A woman has her head shaved for having an affair with a German soldier, France, 1944. Before Hitler arrived in Paris, the French cut all the cables of the Eiffel Tower elevators. When the Führer wanted to go up, The elevator didn't work. He would have had to walk, so he refused. Parisians proudly say that Hitler conquered France, but the Eiffel Tower was beyond his reach. A ride on the metro, 1990. An automated robot imitating human speech, USA, 1845. Slogans such as "Brits, go home," and "Malta wants independence," 1960. People read the news about Kennedy's assassination, New York, 1963. A fisherman's find. There used to be worm vending machines, USA, 1957. A German woman facing public humiliation because of a romantic affair with a Polish man, 1942. Prisoners of the Flossenburg death camp after liberation by the 97th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army, May 1945. Jacob Miller was shot in the head in 1863 and walked away. The bullet remained in his skull for decades. Foreskin or death. A Pakistani soldier checks whether a man is circumcised, i.e., whether he is Hindu or not, during the Bangladesh War of Independence, 1971. Human hair in the German concentration camp, Auschwitz, 1944. Victorious British soldiers of the 137th Staffordshire Brigade of the 46th Division resting after the Battle of St. Quentin Canal, northern France, September 29, 1918. Skeleton of a giant turtle. Photo from 1902. This is a wealthy family, 1910s, Liberia. In the 19th century, a movement arose in the U.S. to return freed African slaves to Liberia. Later, African Americans captured lands of indigenous tribes, enslaving them, and, replicating the U.S. lifestyle, became slaveholders. The first strip club in London, 1958. An emotional girl holds a bundle of grass where Ringo Starr once walked at Los Angeles Airport, USA, 1964. Until the 1960s, Australian Aboriginals were considered animals. Australia, 1960s. Black man in a whites-only cafe, Virginia, 1960. The population hides in a swamp during the Vietnam War. All of Mahatma Gandhi's possessions after his death, India, 1948. Sharp dressers at a football match between Brighton and Watford, 1920. Workers lay a wooden water pipe east of Lewiston, Idaho, 1891. The largest found dicot leaf in the Amazon rainforest, South America. Let's be friends. This was Adolf Hitler's appeal to the global community, 1936. Whether this clip sparked joy, anger, or just a bit of annoyance, I want to hear your thoughts below. Stick around for part 2 coming soon. Please hit like and subscribe to support the channel. See you.